Hello guys, and welcome to Sochi for another 100% race, Cockpit Cam TrackIR version. And this is going to be an interesting one because I don't think I ever drove this track more than once, which was my career mode last season. I drove a Toro Rosso at the time there, and I don't think I've ever driven the track before or after that actually. That means a practice session, a qualifying, and a race, and that's basically all I've done at Sochi so far. So taking a crack at this track in Cockpit Cam with TrackIR is definitely going to be a challenge, and I'm really looking forward to it because the race that I was talking about earlier that I did in my career last season there, if I'm not much mistaken, I think it was raining for most of that race, and I would really like to try this Sochi track in dry conditions. But that said, we have dynamic weather on, and as far as I can see so far, there's about a 25% chance of rain on race days. So it's going to be interesting to see where that takes us. This is going to be our first lap in Q1 here. We are coming up on, I believe it is Jean-Eric Verne, who is ahead of us at the moment here. And as we are catching him, at least it would seem that we are doing better than he is so far. And I have to say, driving while I know that Sochi's not a pure street circuit like Monaco or Marina Bay, for instance, it's definitely a lot more claustrophobic than the tracks that we have done so far in this TrackIR series, which were Monza and Spa. So big difference here so far, but it's going to be interesting to try, that's for sure. Coming up on our second lap here in Q1. Our first one was decent, but I want to get in as many laps as I can here, get some practice under my belt. And we actually managed to improve on our first time, which is enough to get us into Q2 comfortably. Jumping ahead to our Q2 lap here, this is going to be our first one. We have gotten a pretty decent tow on the straight here from Magnussen, but this section of the track here, the latter part of section 3, for some odd reason we are falling behind here, and I'm thinking that must be a setup thing because I don't seem to recall that being a problem the last time I was here, but I could be wrong. However, this is not going to be a particularly great time. As a matter of fact, we are about 4.5 seconds down on Hamilton and over 3 seconds down on our best Q1 lap there. So we're going to have another crack at it here and see if we can't squeeze into Q3 here with a little luck. 1:43.71, still not too brilliant, but it should be enough to get us into the shootout, and it is. Q3 coming up on our first lap here. Hamilton is in temporary pole at the moment. 1:39.989. Decent enough, but still worse than our best Q1 lap there, but this is the best that we manage in this session, and we end up starting as third on the grid there. I forgot to tell you that we are riding with Kimi Räikkönen today, as we rode with Fernando Alonso in our last race at Spa. The time has come to ride with Kimi once more. As you can see right now, the rain is coming down here right from the get-go. We get a pretty good start, matching speed with Hamilton actually overtaking him here. And Vettel has gotten a very good start too, coming down the inside of us. And I'm not sure who's in my rearview mirror right now. It's one of the Williams cars. I'm not sure whether it's Massa or Bottas. We go down the inside of Vettel here. He gives us the room. No immediate drama there. Pretty clean overtake if you ask me. But we are into P1 already on this very damp track, so to speak. And it'll be fun to see whether the rain actually intensifies or it swings the other way, because I guess it can go both ways from here. 25% chance of rain. I have to say I wasn't really expecting it to rain from the get-go, but stranger things have happened, and currently we are doing fairly decent. I can definitely feel we are lacking some grip here, but it could be a lot worse. And also, I should tell you that we are actually running a dry race setup on the car at the moment here. 25% chance of rain. It's just not enough to get me to go for a full wet setup, especially when you consider how the AI just seem to manage their sort of middle-of-the-road setups there in rainy conditions without seeming to suffer from it. We just get nudged from behind there by Sebastian Vettel, and I'm not sure whether he was trying to run us off the track or not, but all weekend during qualifying, and particularly during practice, these 3 corners after the back DRS straight, we seem to be very much off the pace, and then we get it all back here in the back section here with the last 3 turns, and it's got to be some sort of setup thing here because we go for being completely outraced in 3 turns by the AI to completely outracing the AI in the next couple of turns, so go figure. Jumping to lap 4 here, we have our hands full with Hamilton at the moment here, but as you can see, we have managed to open up a bit of a gap down to Bottas, who is in 3rd position, and he is tangling with someone immediately behind him. I am not sure who that is at this point, but as you can see here on the straight, we are very competitive in terms of pace here. Hamilton is getting a tow from us right now, so he's keeping up. But if he were about 1.5 seconds back there, just going down the inside of us there as we run wide in this turn once again, and I'm not really sure what we can do about this. Especially in these conditions here, we are having trouble getting on the throttle at the right time, and we are suffering in the 2 turns immediately after the back DRS straight. So we are going to see if we can't just stay on this bumper here down the main straight and maybe have a look down there in turn, well, I believe it's turn 2 actually, if you count this as turn 1, which is not really a turn, but we are definitely getting a huge tow here, and we have the speed, so we make the move down into turn 2. No drama there, nobody getting run off the track or no penalties or anything like that, and we are back into P1. Almost running wide there, and Hamilton is going to have another look down the inside. He's going to have to back out of that one. He does not have the line, but I'm not sure if you can make it out here, but the conditions are getting worse now as we appear to be close to having standing water on the track, so I'm kind of wondering whether or not we'll be going in for full wets at some point in this race. I was not expecting that when I saw the chance of rain there, but still in P1 for as long as we can hang on to that. I guess that's a positive. But it appears that Hamilton had a bit of a mishap there, damaging his front wing, and is falling behind quite dramatically right now as Bottas is into P2 and Hamilton is down to P3 at the moment. Just running wide there again. Massa is now into P2, so we have a whole cluster of cars there just battling it out about 4 seconds behind us there, so this could be interesting to see what's going on there, but might as well just concentrate on keeping the car on the road ourselves as we almost lose it into the barrier. Jumping to lap 12 here, as you can see, the rain is easing off a little bit at this moment, and on this part of the track at least, there is a distinct dry line developing, and as you can see, our times are well down because of it. And currently, we are duking it out with Felipe Massa, who's about 1.5 seconds down on us there, and Hamilton is in P3, but I can also see that Alonso is in the mix somewhere into P4 right now. And also the track at this point is starting to dry up, meaning these intermediate tires are getting way hot and are really starting to lose grip. So it's a question of when do we want to go in and change to a set of dry tires, and on lap 17 that is exactly what we do. And as you can see, we have a whole school of cars right there behind us, and I'm afraid we might get held up if we're not, and we do get held up. Force India moves in right in front of us there, keeping us behind Massa, who comes out ahead of us there. So that's too bad, getting held up in the pits again. That's getting to be a nasty habit. I need to get better at choosing my times to stop, but I really couldn't see what else to do right now. Going another lap on these intermediates would just cost us too much time. Would have cost us more than that 1 second we got held back. But anyway, the chase for Massa is on, and on lap 20 we are about to catch up to him here as we go purple in sector 2, I believe it is at this point. And as Magnussen does the fastest lap of the race right here, we are just trying not to do anything stupid before coming out on the back straight here. We should be getting DRS once we get out here, and hopefully that will be enough to allow us to catch up to Massa here, although he is moving along nicely there. But there you go. There we get the toe effect. Lots of speed going down the outside here. Braking a little bit too soon there, switching over. There is room on the inside. We get the move done, and on lap 20, we are back into P1 of the Russian Grand Prix. Jumping to lap 25 here, Massa is out of the picture right now as he is not in the top 3 anymore. However, Nico Hülkenberg is into second position right now, being followed by Fernando Alonso, who is in P3. And Hülkenberg is driving a very impressive race so far, as his Force India appears to be very competitive on this track. Skipping ahead to lap 32 here, as you can see, Alonso has now overtaken Hülkenberg, who is about 3 seconds down on us, and he is starting to put us under quite some pressure at this point. And I'm not sure whether or not it is in our best interest to keep fighting like this. And if Alonso keeps lapping like he is right now, I think he must be running in rich mode, because he is really going fast at the moment. Even on the straights, we are having trouble with him. So it would appear that the Ferraris in general are very competitive on this track, but I have to say again, I am not all that happy with my setup. That definitely needs some work. Skipping right ahead to lap 35, we are still having a whale of a time with Alonso here, almost losing the back end as our tires are starting to go a little bit here. Also, as you can see, Hamilton has caught up to Alonso and is in the mix again here. And again, we're skipping all over the place. And I think the time to change tires must be coming close, but we are not due for a pit stop just yet. So I don't really want to be going into the pits too early either. That said, I can see there that both Alonso and Hamilton are going into pit on this very lap. So on the very next lap, we are going into pit as well. And in a stroke of pure genius here, I actually forget to specify what kind of tire I would like on the car, so I end up getting fitted with the prime tire, even though there are only 16 laps remaining. However, nothing to be done about that. We just have to make do with what we have at the moment here. Just keeping our eyes glued to the straight out there. You can see Alonso was just blowing by us out there and is into P1 now as we are chasing in P2. Jumping ahead to lap 40, Alonso is definitely going with some vengeance right now as he is putting us down by about 5 seconds so far. Also into P3 right now is Daniel Ricciardo, and I'm not sure which compound he is on, but I'm willing to bet good money he's probably on the option tire. So that could pose a problem for us eventually. And also I can see a Merc right behind him, and I believe that has to be Hamilton. And jumping to lap 42, we get this message. So again, Alonso having brake trouble here, and if this starts happening on a consistent basis, I may have to revisit the mods that I'm actually running here, because if you recall, I'm not sure whether or not you saw that race, but our cockpit cam race there on Monza a couple of weeks ago, the exact same thing happened, and I suppose it could just be a coincidence, or maybe Alonso is just very hard on his brakes there, but I am thinking we may have to do some testing here to see if we can reproduce it. Anyway, currently we are in P1, but we are having a whale of a time there with Hamilton putting us under pressure from behind. This is the part of the track where we are able to get a bit of a breather here, and the straights as well, provided he does not have DRS, but he is going to have DRS, meaning we are going to be coming under huge pressure here heading into turn 2. And also, again, I'm not sure whether or not this is down to my setup, but I think the tire wear on this track is absolutely horrendous. I cannot remember another track where my tires seem to die this quickly. And as we run wide here on lap 46, Hamilton pounces on the opportunity here, moves into P1, and I'm not sure there's going to be much we can do about that as our primes are already starting to go. and if we are going to get the place back, it's going to have to be here on the straight with DRS if we're getting that. But just look at that Merc go. Jesus, I'm not sure. He must be in rich mode, but what the heck is in that tank? Not even close. Lap 49, Nico Hülkenberg has quietly kept his strong race going here as he is currently in P3, about 3 seconds down on us, but he is currently catching us by about half a second a lap as our tires are really starting to suffer at this point. Jumping ahead to lap 51 here, Hülkenberg has all but closed the gap on us here and is putting us under pressure at the moment, and we are having to treat our tires with less respect than we would want to at this point, skidding all over the place. And hopefully we're going to be able to keep him at bay here on the DRS straight here. He does have DRS, but he does not have the straight line speed the Ferrari does. So we keep it at bay for a while here, but we lose the car one more time, get another notch here, just like Vettel did in the opening of the racer, and Hülkenberg moves into P2. We are in P3 and are skidding all over the place here at this point.
The tires have picked up some marbles. Keep to the racing line and wear them off.
And to make matters worse, we are just outside DRS range here on the finishing straight, and by the looks of it there, that Force India is really going with that Mercedes engine there. So I don't think we're going to be able to catch him on this part of the track. Maybe the second DRS straight if we're lucky. But as it turns out, we are unable to close the gap on Hülkenberg. Lewis Hamilton takes this Grand Prix, and Hülkenberg is going to come in second, and barring any major mishaps here for us, we are going to be rounding off the podium in P3. So I guess all things considered, this was not one of my best known tracks. I was kind of happy with how things turned out there, but I definitely need to go back and revisit my setup. I was not happy with that. Also, I think the tire wear was completely off the charts there. I've never seen anything like that. And that said, I had a lot of fun here, and again, the TrackIR there is just so very immersive compared to what the TV pod does sometimes. However, it also does have its limitations, as it's definitely becomes a very claustrophobic experience on a sort of close track like this one. Anyway, still good fun, and I hope you like this one. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more F1 2014 action. And I'll be seeing you soon enough. Bye-bye.